Hello and welcome. I'm Jenny Florence, and this is the second video in the series about bereavement from the A to Z of Emotional Health online library. So in this video I am going to use an analogy to talk about the process of grieving and how it tends to work. I often describe it as if it is, I'm going to say, a computer download. If you are working at your computer or your laptop and suddenly it decides completely out of your control to download some monumental program, whilst it is downloading that program and whilst it is reconfiguring that program, all other functionality on that laptop or that computer is going to slow down. In fact, some of the programs, the everyday programs that you rely on and use on a daily basis, are actually going to stop working altogether. And this is very much how bereavement and the process of grieving works for us. It's always out of our control when someone dies, when someone passes on. We have no control and no say over that whatsoever. And from an emotional perspective, it is one of the biggest internal programs that is ever going to take place in our lives. And when it does, it uses the most profound amount of energy. We slow down and we lose our normal everyday functionality. Indeed, some of the things that we do without even thinking on autopilot on a day-to-day basis will just stop working. We'll lose our memory function. We won't be as sharp as we normally are. Fundamentally, we are tied up in a process, and there is nothing that we can do about that except allow it to run its course. This is one of the best analogies that I can find, and it's something that I share with people when they come to see me, when they are feeling utterly overwhelmed and wondering why they can't seem to function normally. And I always say to them, actually, not being able to function normally in the face of a huge loss is actually, that is normal. You know, none of us can manage to process something that is so huge and still expect to kind of run at 110%. That's just not realistic. In the last video, I spoke about the need for an emphasis on self-care and an emphasis on learning to listen to ourselves during this process. It's really important because the only person who can know what we need in this process will be us. And this program is going to run. It's going to take quite a long time. The length and the duration of this is not something that we can predict. I can't say to you, you know, in 2 weeks or 2 months you'll be fine, or in a year. The program, the process of grieving is complex, and it's different for every single person that we lose. I'll say a little bit more about this in one of the other videos. But this program has to run its course, and the best way to manage it is to learn to work with it rather than trying to force things to happen, rather than loading yourself with expectations and then getting angry and frustrated with yourself or disappointed in yourself because you're not functioning in the way that you normally do. If we just recognise that it's normal not to, and that our functionality isn't going to be good, and that's okay, then we can begin to be responsive to whatever we may need at any given time. I hope that this has been a helpful video for you. I hope this information is helpful. I'll say a little bit more about the running of this program in the next video. Take care.